Hi everyone. My presentation is about the impact of caterpillar herbivory and elevated CO2 levels on increasing foliar cardenolide concentration in A. curasavica milkweed species. I found out that caterpillar herbivory has a larger impact on increasing foliar cardenolide concentration in milkweed. This is the graph I came up with. The two treatment types, the elevated CO2 levels and caterpillar herbivory, are shown on the x-axis, and the treatment effect is shown on the y-axis. This figure shows that there is a significant difference between the two treatment effects, since the p-value is less than 0.001. It appears that elevated CO2 levels decrease foliar cardenolide concentration. Since the treatment effect is less than 1, we can see it's around 0.5, whereas the caterpillar herbivory increases foliar cardenolide concentration. Since the treatment effect is greater than 1, it's around 1.3. Why should we care about this? We should care about this since it's about plant-pollinator interactions. Elevated CO2 levels decrease the cardenolide concentration in milkweed. Milkweed population will decrease as cardenolides protect milkweeds from animals eating them. Without milkweed to provide monarch caterpillars with cardenolides, monarch population will decrease as well. Monarch butterflies are pollinators, and they are essential for many ecosystems to thrive, since they migrate across the country. With decreased cardenolide concentration, we won't get much pollination from milkweed, and we will lose monarchs as our pollinators. Plant-pollinator interactions are crucial for the ecosystem survival, since pollinators fertilize the plants, and as we know, the plants are the start of the food chain. This is the first paper I used. I used this paper to find the treatment effect of elevated CO2 levels on foliar cardenolide concentration. This paper had 4 milkweed species, but I concentrated on A. curasavica milkweed species. The treatment effect was calculated using the average concentration of total foliar cardenolides of A. curasavica species under ambient CO2 levels and elevated CO2 levels, under which host plants were grown. Ambient CO2 levels are my control group, and the elevated CO2 levels are my treatment group. The error was propagated by finding the total standard error, then the total relative error, and then the absolute error. This is the second paper I used. I used this paper to find the treatment effect of caterpillar herbivory on foliar cardenolide concentration. Again, this paper had 2 milkweed species, but I concentrated on A. curasavica. The treatment effect was calculated using the milkweed average foliar cardenolide concentration for non-induced and induced groups of plants. The non-induced group was my control group, and the induced group was my treatment group. Again, the error was propagated by finding the total standard error, then the total relative error, and then the absolute error. At the end, a t-test was conducted to compare the treatment effect of caterpillar herbivory to the treatment effect of elevated CO2 levels treatments. Thank you. I hope you found this interesting and learned something new from this.